Today we're going to talk about self-love. So, physically, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. It is so important to love ourselves because it just brings so much abundance into our lives. And really, the truth of who we are is love. So, I'm going to dive into some principles. So, I was actually listening to Louise Hay this morning. Do you guys know Louise Hay? If you do, give me a shout. I just love her. I woke up like super early, not really in like I don't know, just a little bit cranky, I guess, this morning. I was like, oh, let me put something great on to like really, get my high vibe. So I put on some Louise Hay. It was a self-love meditation. It was just so beautiful. It just brought so much peace to my mind. And I was like, yes, we are talking about self-love today. It's such an important topic because when you love yourself, then you'll take care of yourself in all these, very vital areas of your life. Okay, so let's dive into the content. All right, if you guys don't know Louise Hay, let me know. Man, I just love her. She also has the book You Can Heal Your Life. And I'm really big on Audible books. And so she has on YouTube, you could get the whole Audible. There's so many amazing books. So you can just listen to the whole Audible on YouTube. First thing, let's talk mentally. So how do we love ourselves mentally? Well, she was saying our mind is like a garden. Whatever you plant is what you're going to get out, right? And there's always going to be weeds that are trying to make their way in there. So you really want to make sure you pluck out the weeds immediately. So in this sense, plant, what we're thinking is going to be what we're going to plant into our minds. And the weeds are going to be negative thoughts. And so one of the things that she was saying to do is cut out all criticism right now. There's no room for criticism in your mind. First things first is start talking to yourself very positively. Everything we're saying to ourselves, no matter what it is an affirmation. Marie Forleo had like a 7-day thought tracker, which I don't know if I did all 7 days, but I tried every day kind of check my thoughts. But really think about what you're thinking about throughout the day. Like do a thought check every couple hours. And we have over 50,000 thoughts. Some people say like 70,000 thoughts every day, and most of them are negative. And so those are affirmations you're telling yourself. Everything that you're thinking is you're telling yourself, you're putting yourself into that vibration. So mentally, let's make sure that we are loving ourselves and telling ourselves good, positive things. Physically, this is kind of obvious, but making sure that you're eating well and doing exercise. So, I mean, life is meant to be fun. Like for me, I think we were born just out of love to love, peace, enjoyment, all that good stuff. Do exercises and eat foods that are fun for you. So I like to do Zumba. What kind of exercise do you guys like to do? Let me know. So Zumba, I found some really cool online workouts. And even if I don't love it, like sometimes I do weightlifting classes, which I don't love, but I love how I feel afterwards. And I know that. And in the meantime, it's not like bad. I'm going to put some music on, so make it more enjoyable. And then with foods, so I stopped eating meat, I don't know, 3 years ago. Now I've been having to use a lot of different spices, and I've found all these really cool new vegetables. I'm like just looking them up, all these different recipes, and making the food taste so good. So sometimes people are like, how do you not eat meat? But I don't feel like I'm missing out because I really season up my food real good. And I still eat fish, so I love salmon. So that's always a treat. Mentally, physically, show yourself love. Emotionally, so I'm really talking about like being your best friend. I think I mentioned this last week, but how would you talk to your best friend or even just a little child? Like that's how you should talk to yourself. Be gentle, be kind, and also don't have any guilt or shame in your life because guilt asks for punishment. So we do not need to punish ourselves. There's nothing to, be ashamed of. The past is the past, and all you can really control is right now, this present moment. So that's why meditation is so great, is because you can bring yourself to the present, just closing your eyes, shutting off all outside distractions, just focusing on your breathing. And then as you do notice other thoughts come into your mind, don't like judge them. Don't be like, oh man, I suck at this. Like I can't meditate. Like acknowledge them and let them pass and just keep focusing on your breathing. We can't get that wrong. And then when you do quiet your mind, it really helps listen to that inner voice. So, the spirit within you, I think we're guided. I think we can kind of like sit back and relax as long as we take the inspired action and the guidance. So we don't have to feel like we need to figure all this out by ourselves. And so with that, I'll go into spiritually how we take care of ourselves. So that's one of the ways we can do it, is quieting our egoic mind, all those racing thoughts that we constantly have. And then getting quiet and getting still and letting that guidance come forth. Or some people say intuition, follow your intuition. It's kind of the same thing. And when I say like spirit or God, I mean, I think there's one divine source, but people put all different names on it. Joshua, Allah, whatever the name is that you want to call it. There's one source that we all are in. That's it. Spiritually, I think spirit meets you where you're at. So like for me, I want like this really big company, but if I were to get 10 employees right now, I probably would be overwhelmed, like doing, figuring out all the tasks. Like I have a VA right now and delegating tasks to her. But then if I had 9 other people, like, what do I do? What am I supposed to do? Like, I gotta like work my way up to that. So I think that's it. That's where it is with spirit. It meets you where you're at. So I actually had one of my friends write on a post last night that, she's just not there spiritually. She was saying, I had posted a picture of my baptism in 2011. It was like a memory that had come up, and and that's okay. Like wherever you're at, if you're angry at God for some reason because something wasn't going right or as you thought it should be, like acknowledge your feelings. Then get quiet and ask for guidance. Be willing to see things differently. Ask help me to see things differently, and that will really help. Really big moral of the story. Any negative thought you're thinking is putting you into a vibration, and that'll attract more things to you. So really want to change that negative thought as soon as possible once you notice it coming in. I mean, I do believe like feeling what you're feeling to heal it. But as soon as you felt it, just feel it. You can like quickly just go to the depths of it and then just bring yourself back up. It's like, okay, I don't want to continue this, perpetual vibration of negativity. So that's one thing. Don't get in the negative vibe. And really think about, just all the good things that there are in life. You can't be grateful and miserable at the same time. We just can't do that. So I always think about what you're grateful for. That'll put you in a good vibration. And another thing that I wanted to say is, so this is a Bible verse. So now I haven't really been going to like church a lot, but there's a lot of things in the Bible I do like. Some of the things I don't really understand. But I've been reading A Course in Miracles and I love it. But the Bible does say, so I think it's in Matthew. What is it? Matthew, I think it's like Matthew 9:27. Love God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind. That's the first and greatest commandment. And the second one is love thy neighbor as yourself. So for me, what that means is like we are all one. So so first of all, love God, all your mind, all your heart, and all your soul, because you guys, we are one. So that means, we have that God power within us. So if you're loving God with all your everything, then that's how you're going to love yourself. And then it says the second commandment is love thy neighbors as yourself. So really, that's just, again, perpetuating the oneness that we all are, but really seeing your neighbor as yourself. Like, honestly, I think whatever I'm doing to myself. So it's like, say you were to, if you're to show love to someone, then like it doesn't even come back all the time from that person. It might come back in a different form. Say you're lying, like you might think, oh, maybe you can get away with it, but you're really doing it to yourself. So you're only doing yourself a disservice. Say, somebody accidentally like gives you some, extra change in the till or something. But you want to give it back to them right away because really you're doing that to yourself, and that's your own, your own mind that's going to be affected. Really, everything's happening in our mind. Really just love yourself, be kind to yourself. Know that whatever you're doing to somebody else, you're doing to yourself, because we are all one. Keep a high vibration. I hope you guys just have a wonderful day. I love you, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.